Imagine waking up tomorrow, walking to your dresser, pulling out that old jar of pennies, and realizing one of them could make you an instant millionaire. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2013 Lincoln penny could be worth up to $5.70 million. Now before you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, it's just a penny," stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this ordinary-looking coin has turned everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. Let's start with a simple question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Most people just toss them into drawers, glove compartments, or piggy banks without a second thought. But what if I told you that some of those forgotten coins could fund your dream home, your retirement, or even your children's college tuition? The 2013 Lincoln penny might seem like just another modern coin, shiny, common, mass-produced. But there's something extraordinary about this particular edition. Somewhere in the minting process, a rare striking error created a few extraordinary coins with subtle imperfections so unique that collectors are willing to pay millions for them. Yes, millions. One of these rare error coins recently surfaced in a private sale and shocked the coin community with a $5.7 million valuation. The reason? A combination of perfect condition, unique die alignment, and microscopic details that make it one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever discovered. But before we dive into how to identify one of these life-changing coins, let me ask, have you ever heard of someone throwing away a fortune without realizing it? It happens more than you think. And this story will make you check your pockets twice. To understand why the 2013 penny holds such incredible value, we need to take a step back in history. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909, replacing the Indian head penny. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of honesty, resilience, and hard-earned success. Over the decades, the penny evolved through different metals, designs, and minting techniques. But it's the Denver Mint, marked with that tiny D, that often surprises collectors with unexpected treasures. In 2013, billions of pennies were struck. Yet, among them, a few were produced under conditions that made them extraordinarily rare: misaligned dies, double die strikes, or planchet errors. These are the small mistakes that turn ordinary coins into goldmines. And here's the best part: these valuable coins aren't locked away in museums. They're out there, circulating in the world, possibly in your change jar right now. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've got a jar full of pennies, but none of them ever made me rich. Well, that's exactly what everyone says, until they finally check. So before you laugh it off, maybe give that jar another look. Your future might just be sitting under a layer of dust next to your old spare keys. So how do you know if your 2013 penny is one of the million-dollar kinds? Here's what to look for. The mint mark, D under the date, crisp, centered, and clean. A perfectly preserved surface, no scratches or discoloration. Subtle doubling on Lincoln's eye lips or lettering, especially in the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust. And most importantly, a deep, clear strike that almost makes the coin look engraved rather than pressed. If you spot anything like this, don't spend that penny. Don't even clean it. Instead, protect it, store it safely, and get it professionally graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or NGC. Collectors are constantly scanning for these rare finds, and with verified grading, your penny could fetch you a life-changing payday. Here's the wild part: experts believe more of these $5.7 million 2013 pennies might still be out there, unrecognized and unnoticed. Could one of them be yours? Imagine finding that one coin, selling it, and suddenly paying off your mortgage, clearing your debts, or finally taking that long-awaited vacation of a lifetime. And if you think this is unbelievable, wait until you hear about another modern penny, one that sold for even more. But that's a story for another video. And trousseau tonight, when you get home, grab those jars, drawers, and boxes of old change. Don't just glance, inspect. The path to wealth might not come from Wall Street, but from something far simpler, something you've been overlooking every day. Because sometimes, the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is just one penny away. Stay curious, stay inspired, and never stop searching. Your millionaire moment could be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more hidden coin treasures and real-life fortune finds. And tell me in the comments, what's the most interesting coin you've ever come across? You never know, your story might be the next millionaire discovery. What if I told you that the ordinary-looking 1989 Lincoln penny sitting in your change jar could be worth more than $5.5 million? Yes, that same brown cent we all overlook every day might just be the key to unimaginable wealth. You may have walked past a fortune without even realizing it. But how can a 1-cent coin turn someone into a millionaire overnight? Let's find out. Every great story begins with something ordinary, until it isn't. Back in 1989, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Lincoln pennies, simple copper-plated zinc coins that quietly entered circulation across the nation. No special mint mark, no fanfare. Just everyday coins, like the ones jingling in your pocket right now. But here's where things get interesting. Among those millions of coins, a tiny handful came out differently. Coins with rare die errors, unique plating anomalies, and striking imperfections so unusual that professional collectors now value them at over $5.5 million. Think about that. A coin made to be worth 1 cent could now buy you a mansion, a supercar, or a lifetime of financial freedom. Makes you wonder, how many have already been spent unknowingly at gas stations or coffee shops? That's the fear that keeps collectors awake at night, the fear of missing out on hidden treasure already in their hands. But before we dive deeper, let me ask, have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking it's worthless? Well, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. To understand why the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is so valuable, we have to travel back to its origin. The coin carries the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has graced the penny since 1909. Over the decades, the penny has evolved, from pure copper to zinc, from wheat ears to the modern memorial reverse. In 1989, something unexpected happened. A small batch of pennies minted in Philadelphia, coins that should have looked like every other, came out flawlessly offbeat. Some featured off-center strikes, others had double dies showing slight doubling in, Liberty, or the date, 1989. A few even had planchet errors, where the metal mix was off, giving the coin an odd tone or texture. Most of these anomalies slipped quietly into circulation. Decades later, sharp-eyed collectors began spotting these rare traits and realized what they had: the birth of the $1989 million penny legend. Let me hit you with a thought. Imagine pulling out an old coffee can from your garage, dusting it off, and discovering a coin inside worth more than your entire retirement fund. That's not fiction. It's happened before. But wait, why this coin? Why 1989? Because it represents a transitional year, a shift in die production, new metal compositions, and the last echoes of old minting technology. And when transitions happen, so do errors, and where errors occur, value skyrockets. Here's the shocking part. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC have documented only a few dozen authentic 1989 no-mint mark varieties in near-perfect condition. Coins graded MS68 or higher have fetched staggering prices, sometimes breaking records at private auctions. And yes, one of these coins, perfectly struck, nearly flawless, and with a rare die anomaly, recently sold for $5.5 million. Still think pennies are just pocket change? Now here's the $1,000,000 question, or should I say, the $5.5 million one. Do you have one of these hidden treasures sitting in your home? Before you dismiss the idea, take a look at your old jars, drawers, or those forgotten boxes of coins. Check the year, 1989. Make sure it has no mint mark under the date, and then inspect carefully for sharp doubling on the lettering or date, odd coloration or unusual weight, perfect, uncirculated surfaces with brilliant luster. Even a slight variation could mean a life-changing discovery. But here's the urgency. Every day, these coins are being lost forever. Spent, melted, forgotten. And with each one gone, the few remaining become even more valuable. Imagine the feeling, holding a coin you once thought was worthless, and realizing it could pay off your home, your debts, even your dreams. What would you do if you suddenly became a millionaire from a single penny? Would you invest? Travel the world? Help your family? Or maybe, just maybe, you'd start looking at every coin differently. Because sometimes, wealth doesn't come from what's new. It comes from what's been sitting right under your nose all along. So before you go, check your change. The next 1989 Lincoln penny you touch might not just be 1 cent. It might be the start of your millionaire story. And if you think the 1989 penny is rare, wait until you hear about the 1974 Lincoln penny that shocked collectors with its record-breaking sale. Subscribe now, because your next coin could be the one that changes your life forever. Remember, wealth hides in plain sight. You just have to know where to look. Asterisk asterisk, would you like me to adapt this script into a voiceover-ready format, with pacing cues and pauses, for a faceless YouTube video? That would make it flow perfectly for editing and audience retention. Jar of pennies, the same one that's been sitting in your kitchen cabinet for decades, and suddenly, a small copper coin catches your eye. It's nothing special at first glance, or is it? Because that simple 1976 Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $5.1 million today. Yes, 1 cent that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. Welcome to the world of rare coin treasures, where history hides in plain sight and fortune favors those who look closely. Before we dive in, ask yourself this. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Most people pass them by, toss them in a drawer, or leave them on the counter. But that single moment of carelessness could be the difference between loose change and life-changing wealth. The 1976 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that numismatists, that's a fancy word for coin collectors, dream about. It was struck in Denver, the D mint mark we know today, during a time of American pride and celebration, the bicentennial year, when the nation turned 200 years old. But here's where things get mysterious. A small number of these 1976 pennies left the U.S. Mint with something extraordinary, a minting anomaly so rare that experts can't agree exactly how it happened. Some say it was struck on the wrong metal planchet. Others believe it was a test strike that somehow slipped into circulation. Whatever the truth, it transformed an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar artifact of American history. And yes, one verified coin from that batch sold for an unbelievable $5.1 million at auction. Let's rewind a bit. The Lincoln penny has been in production since 1909, honoring the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the design evolved slightly, but the essence remained the same, the humble 1-cent coin that carried America's values of hard work, liberty, and perseverance. By 1976, copper was king. These pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a combination that gave them a distinct reddish tone. Yet among the millions minted, a few coins emerged with differences so minute, yet so valuable, that they would later command astronomical prices. Now, here's the part that excites collectors and terrifies the unprepared. Most people don't even know they're holding one. The 1976 D penny might look ordinary, but under magnification, experts noticed irregularities, slightly doubled lettering on Liberty or In God We Trust, subtle thickness on Lincoln's profile, and even an off-center strike. And that's all it takes. Those imperfections, those microscopic mistakes, are what make these coins priceless. Think of it like this. In a world where machines are built for perfection, a small human or mechanical error becomes a golden ticket. So here's where you come in. Somewhere in your home, in your old coffee jar, desk drawer, or even your car's coin compartment, there could be a 1976 D Lincoln penny waiting to change your life. But let's be honest, how many of us actually check? How many of us let fear, doubt, or simple disbelief stop us from taking that one extra step? Because here's the truth, wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. It can come from something as small as a penny. Imagine selling one coin, just one, and paying off your home. Or retiring early. Or finally taking that dream trip you put off for years. That's what happened to the lucky collector who stumbled upon this rare 1976 D penny. They didn't find it in a fancy auction or a private collection. They found it in pocket change. Now let me ask you, what if you're next? And hey, if your family starts laughing at you for staring at pennies with a magnifying glass, just smile and say, "We'll see who's laughing when I'm holding a $5 million coin." Because history has a funny way of rewarding those who pay attention. In the next video, I'll reveal how to identify if your 1976 D penny is one of the ultra-rare ones, the kind that could make you rich beyond imagination. There's a secret mark and a hidden detail that only a few collectors know. You don't want to miss this, because the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $5.1 million fortune could be something you've already held in your hands. This is not just a story about money. It's about awareness, history, and opportunity. And sometimes, the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight. So go check your pennies. Your millionaire story might start today. Have you ever picked up a penny and thought, "It's just 1 cent"? What if I told you that one ordinary-looking Lincoln penny from 1975, without a mint mark, could make you a millionaire overnight? Yes, you heard that right. A simple penny that most people walk past every single day could be worth an astonishing $5.2 million. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify it, and most importantly, how you could be sitting on a life-changing fortune hiding in your pocket change. Let's travel back to 1975, the era of classic cars, bell-bottom jeans, and the last years before America's bicentennial celebration. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln pennies, but here's the twist. The Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark. So, if your 1975 penny doesn't have a little D or S beneath the date, that's perfectly normal. But not all no-mint mark pennies are created equal. Among those countless coins, a few rare 1975 Lincoln pennies were struck with extraordinary precision errors, off-metal compositions, or die misalignments, the kind of imperfections that collectors dream of. One of these rare variations, verified by top grading services, recently fetched an unbelievable $5.2 million at auction. Imagine that, a single cent turned into a mansion, luxury cars, and a lifetime of financial freedom. You might be wondering, how could something so small be worth so much? Well, here's where the story gets fascinating. #ACT2. The hidden value. The Lincoln penny has always been more than just a coin. It's a symbol of American endurance and change. First introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Fast forward to 1975, the mint was preparing for major design shifts. experimenting with metal compositions and refining dyes for the upcoming 1976 bicentennial series. During this period of transition, a few coins slipped through the cracks, coins struck on experimental planchets, or struck twice by accident, creating extremely rare variants. These minting errors were never supposed to exist, yet they did point one of these error coins, with flawless details, unique luster, and a perfect strike, became the centerpiece of a major auction, shocking even seasoned collectors. It's the reason experts now call the 1975 no-mint mark penny one of the most lucrative finds in U.S. numismatic history. And here's the scary part. These coins are still in circulation. They could be sitting in a jar, forgotten in a dresser, or hidden at the bottom of your car's cup holder. How many of us have tossed away a fortune without realizing it? Quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Or are you one of those people who say, "It's just 1 cent, who cares?" Well, if that's you, congratulations. You might have thrown away a brand new house, a car, or even your retirement fund. See? Sometimes being a little curious literally pays off. Now let's talk identification. How do you know if your 1975 Lincoln penny could be one of these rare gems? Start by examining the condition. Look for coins that have sharp details on Lincoln's hair and coat. Check the reverse. The Lincoln Memorial should have crisp lines and no wear. Then, the real magic, the weight and composition. Some 1975 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover bronze planchets instead of the standard copper-plated zinc. Those coins can weigh slightly more, around 3.11 grams instead of 2.5. If your coin fits that weight range, it could be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional authentication. And if you find something unusual, an off-center strike, a double die, or a slightly different tone, don't clean it. Cleaning can instantly reduce its value. Instead, store it safely and get an expert opinion. Now here's where things get exciting. Even more rare variations of the 1975 penny have recently been discovered. Some collectors believe there may still be undocumented errors out there, possibly worth even more than $5.2 million. Could one of those be sitting in your collection right now? That's the mystery that keeps treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts searching day and night. So before you dismiss that shiny penny, remember this: wealth often hides in plain sight. The 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny teaches us something powerful. Opportunity doesn't always come wrapped in gold or silver. Sometimes, it's disguised as a tiny copper coin most people overlook. Check your change. Look closer. Because your path to becoming a millionaire might just start with a single cent. If you want to learn more about identifying valuable coins, subscribe now. Your next penny could be the one that changes everything. And as Abraham Lincoln once said, "Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle." So get searching, because the next fortune might already be in your hand.